This is episode 12 with Afterthoughts, Volume 1. Welcome to Fear Less University, the podcast where we discuss, dissect, and examine some of life's greatest fears. My name is Coach Lane Lee, performance coach and fear psychology enthusiast, here to help you understand your greatest fears. Fear is my passion, curiosity is my nature, and understanding is the gift I seek to share with all who will listen. Because if we seek to understand more, we can learn to fear less. Welcome to another episode of Fear Less You. Each episode, I feature a new guest who lends their special brand of wisdom and expertise to help me unlock the mysteries of fear. What we discuss is not an exact science, but in all things, we seek understanding. Because it's not about being void of fear, but instead understanding more to fear itself less. I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. Wherever you're listening, be sure to like and share this episode if you find it helpful or entertaining. And be sure to turn on your notifications so you know exactly when a new episode drops. And as always, be sure to rate and review us wherever you find us. By doing so, you're helping our placement and ranking in search results. Help me touch the lives of millions of people around the world, helping them to understand more and in turn, fear less. You know, the interviews don't actually end with my guest and I saying goodbye. Oftentimes, I'm on the phone with them for another 10 to 15 minutes after the actual interview has ended, with us talking and reflecting on the things we just finished talking and reflecting on. But it's a great time to finish up our time together. I want all of my guests to know just how much I appreciate them and to know that it's not just about what they can do for me and my show, but hopefully what I can also do for them. To all of my guests thus far, Eric Thompson, aka E, Blaze Davis, Ozay Moore, Ida, Igor Litvak, and Steph Ganowski. I hope that it goes without saying to all of you that I am immensely grateful for your contributions to the show and the insights, knowledge, and wisdom you have all shared with not only me, but all of those listening as well. It's been invaluable. And to anyone listening who has learned something, gained insight, or even taken the advice of any of these guests, be sure to let them know. Each episode, they give out their contact info and details on where you can reach out to them. So take a moment to do just that. So this episode, I thought it'd be fun to share some of the post-interview moments, the afterthoughts, if you will, of myself and my guests. So without further ado, this is Afterthoughts, Volume 1. Eric Thompson, Tumble Chef, man. Thank you so much, brother. We loved having you on this first episode.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. I really do.
All right, have a blessed one, man.
You too.
Man, that was beautiful, E. I appreciate you, homie.
No, you good, man. I appreciate you having me, man. I really do. I think I wasn't sure what to expect, but now that I know everything is going, I feel really good about it. And I actually think talking like that, well, actually, my day is going to be better because of it.
Dude, I felt the same way. Like, I can tell you how I felt coming into this, and I was like, I don't know. You know, it's been raining over here. You all got snow over there. Like, it's just been kind of like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, man, and this is how I always get, though, talking about this stuff. And I think that you and I share that passion. I'm sure most of us in the Northeast share that passion. That's why we formed the collective. But man, it's just having that passion to talk about, you know, fear and just being human. I think, you know, we always find these labels and say, okay, what makes us the same? You know, what in our lives makes us the same, instead of seeing like, hey, you're already pretty much the same. We're all human. We all have that same basic, you know, binary component that makes us up and makes us who we are. So, you know, I think it's just so funny when people are so surprised when they find things in common with other people, instead of realizing like, yeah, this is at our core, this is who we are. And yes, we have those nuances that make us, you know, individuals. That's where personality comes from. But yeah, man, I feel like I could really attack the day now, and I'm ready to hit up like the next 2 or 3 people for episodes, brother, because like this went so much better than I ever could have imagined. Right. So yeah, man, I appreciate it, and you know, I hope y'all have a blessed weekend, and I'm gonna be out on the East Coast next week. My wife and I are going to New York City, so hopefully the weather gets better before then. But
yeah, hopefully. I'm getting ready for Worlds right now. My team got a bid to Worlds.
Dope. Congrats.
So I'm getting ready. No, thank you. Getting ready for Worlds. So tomorrow I got choreography.
Very cool.
And then after that I have practice. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, hit me up. Let me know how everything goes, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, my pleasure. I'll for sure hit you with I'll hit you with the episode. Any like graphics that I come up with, promoting it for Instagram so that you can post it as well. And yeah, I'll for sure be in touch, man. Great first episode.
All right, man. All
right, brother.
You have a good one.
All right, you too. Peace. Man, Ozay Moore. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today and sharing your bountiful wisdom and your heart and your story. We appreciate your time, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate the opportunity, bro. You know, this is what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's what it's about.
Appreciate it. Well, hey, be blessed. Have a good one.
You too, brother.
Man, Ty.
Yo.
That was great, man.
Good, man. Good. I hope you got some stuff in there, man. Sorry, like I easily could trail off there.
But you know, like you and I both listen to podcasts. Some of the best podcasts are when you can just get lost in the conversation.
Yeah,
you know,
like
honestly,
you feel like you're in the conversation. It's like, okay, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not sure where he's going with. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There it goes. Okay. Yeah. You know, and it's great for me too, because it's teaching me how to conduct an interview. Like I had other questions here, but because you had touched on them basically in some of your other answers, I felt like it was just beating, you know, a dead horse basically, and like, you know, reiterating what you had already perfectly articulated. So. Yeah, man.
Man, that was good, and you're excellent.
Thank you, man. But Ida, thank you very much for your time, and I know everybody else that's listened thanks you as well.
You're welcome, if that helps.
Well, my friend, what did you think?
I guess that was another fear that I faced. I didn't, think that, like I was saying before, I didn't think I would be one speaking. I've been told I should, and I should write a book about what I've been through, but
yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't as bad, imagination kicked in again, so.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad at all. I actually enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad. I thoroughly enjoyed it too, and I think that, I was trying to think if there was a way to put it in there, but, again, going back to that interview or that roundtable I watched today, there were guys in that roundtable that have started, awareness organizations, guys that had been sexually abused as kids, all of these things. And so the topic of sexual abuse and mental abuse throughout childhood came up several times. And one of the guys was, he's a white guy. He's an athlete. He's like an All-American. And now he's a very successful lifestyle entrepreneur. But growing up, he was saying, because I didn't talk about my abuse, I always felt like there was something wrong with me, so that when I would have friends that, other guy friends that would, try showing a little affection, like, pat on the back or like, giving me a hug, or bullying me and challenging my manhood or my masculinity, he said, I thought I had to put on these masks to be a certain way and over assert my manhood. There was another guy who was running. I was actually just on his website, and he has these statistics, these little infographics about sexual assault. I think this part was about, like 1 in 6 women will be victims of some sort of sexual assault. And to me, I was just like, with all the young girls that I work with, that just kind of blew my mind to think that between the age of 0 and 25, 44% of those girls, 1 in 6 of those, that number, that age demographic, will have already experienced some sort of sexual assault or harassment. And I was trying to find a way to bring that up in our conversation, but I think that your interview did that enough where you are simply speaking on it. And I think that that's the whole point of what I was trying to say, is that just speaking about it is that first step again. Like you're evolving into the next iteration of Aida. You're taking that next first step, which is to begin talking about it. Your girls are getting older, and I think that it's really cool now that you are thinking about, especially with your brother being a speaker, you're thinking about that next step to where how else can I be a vessel? Who else could I inspire to move just with my story?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that, because this is what I struggle with, and I don't know if you struggle with it as well, but I think that a lot of us don't find ourselves worthy enough to speak on a certain subject. I know for me, I've been told my whole life, like, oh, you should be a pastor, or you should be a youth pastor, or you should be a teacher. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really think that that's my avenue. And even when I wanted to do, I always knew that coaching was the basis, the foundation of what I was going to do, but I wanted to touch the world one day. And then a little bit of ego comes in to where you're like, well, am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for a greater purpose? And you got, I think what I always have to remind myself is that God implants the inspiration in you in the first place. And if I'm praying every day, God, if you find me worthy of the honor, grant me the privilege of being your vessel. If I'm asking him that, and then he's presenting me with opportunities to actually act on my words, and I'm still doubting it and still thinking that I'm unworthy, now I'm at fault.
Yeah.
So I just want to, encourage you and know that if there are others that see something in you, it's for a reason. If there is that spark of inspiration that is in your heart to say, maybe I could do this one day, then that should be enough for you to know this is more than just something you conceived of yourself doing, that this is something that was divinely implanted in you to say, I might, I have a purpose for your story to be out there and touch other lives, because the majority of women in your position, the majority of people in your position aren't going to do anything about it. They're not going to say something. And the truth is, everybody has a story to tell. It's a matter of who actually steps forward and speaks up.
Yeah. That you literally, that was beautiful. I had a friend who passed away this year, and two actually, that it was heartbreaking because they literally passed within a few weeks of each other.
Oh wow!
And both of them, like, they were like, you know, one was my friend's husband, and she, when I went back to Jersey 3 years ago, and I told them, because I would give them tidbits, I wouldn't tell them everything that happened, and when I told them what happened, they cried. And I remember him texting me the next day and saying, I mean, it was like a long text, and he was saying, I didn't know you had such zest for life. Because he knew me through my ex-husband.
Right.
And he was like, I didn't know you were this wonderful, strong, amazing woman. And I was like, oh my God, you know. And he was like, you need to share your story. He goes, you have such tenacity, and you are just an amazing person that needs to share with other people so they can be as strong as you are. And being that he passed this year, those words keep coming in my head. And then my other friend is like, you know you got this. I know I've seen you, you know, like I knew him since I was in 7th grade. We met and we graduated together, and he was like, that person is back stronger, you know. And he was just like, you got this. He goes, I don't know what you're scared about, you know. Like, he was just pretty much punking me like, girl, what's wrong with you, girl? Come on, you know. Like, so it's like, I know I need a change in my life. You know, I know I can't be a server forever. I mean, my name literally means help in one language, you know.
Wow, that's true. Wow.
Yeah, you know, it's to aid people. And it's just like, well, how am I going to do that? You know, I gotta step it up. I gotta make a living off of this because I need to pay bills. You know? So it's just like when you literally was like, can I interview you? That was just like, whoa, what? Me?
Right. That's so funny.
You crazy, me?
That was your reaction too, I remember. You were like, really? Like, you said, I guess. I don't know why. But, you know, you got to remember too that just as you may realize that you are a vessel, there are others out there that have been called to be the same. And you know, sometimes they just don't even know it. They're just given a moment of inspiration or a word to speak, and they choose to speak it in the perfect time, in the perfect setting. And I think that, you know, your friend that passed had that moment and seized that moment to make sure that that was shared with you, you know, that so that you would have those words resonating, because maybe one day those were the only words that were going to push you into that next step. But you know, there's no rush, but it's just good to be mindful of it, because finding your purpose does take time, and finding what you are passionate to speak about does take time. But even if it's just sharing your story for now, that's what people connect with. We've been telling stories to each other since the campfire and cave drawings, you know. It's what drives us and allows us to relate to one another. And the beauty of stories is that they transcend everything. They transcend religion. They transcend, you know, ethnicity, even economic status. They transcend where you're geographically located in the world, and even language, because your story can be translated. So I think that, you know, one of my favorite quotes is closed mouths don't get fed. And it's encouraging you to open that mouth, share your story, ask questions, answer questions. But I think that, you know, especially in today's world where it's so easy for us to disconnect from one another, you could be sitting right next to somebody on the bus and completely ignore them now because you're connecting, having virtual conversations with people on social media. I think we're really going to start seeing a trend where we start going back to being off the phone more and starting to connect with people more in person, or IRL, as the kids like to say. So Aida, thank you so much. Be encouraged. Be that help. Be that ayuda that people need. And be that aid that people need. And I see you as being a Band-Aid of sorts. You know, you're that person that's there to to connect and heal. And I think that's a special gift that is not bestowed on but a chosen few in life. So move forward in faith and encouragement, and know that that's what you're meant to do in this life.
Like they're saying, many are called, few are chosen. I never understood that till I got older, when the pastor was like, it's not that few are chosen, it's that few have chosen to do what they were called to do. And I was like, wow. Yeah. I never knew that.
Same. My mind is currently being blown because I never thought about it from that perspective. That's so true. Wow. All right, my friend. I'll let you go. I feel like I've taken enough of your time. Let's reconnect soon, though. But seriously, thank you so much. Cool news.
I hope I did okay.
You did great. Cool news. Even though I don't have a large, fan base right now, I'm still building the content so that when the day comes where there's 700,000 people listening, there are episodes they can go back to all the way back to the beginning. And this will be one of those episodes. But the good news is that when it comes time to share this with people, it's on iTunes and it's on Spotify now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can share it easily.
Please send it to me when you're done. I'm going to put it on Facebook.
For sure. It'll be up Friday morning. So I'll send you a link.
Sounds good.
All right, Miss Aida. Well, have a wonderful and blessed week, you and your daughters. And please, if there's ever anything I can do, let me know. Don't hesitate. Like, I seriously mean that. Like, you've got a friend for life now, so reach out if there's ever anything I can do.
Likewise.
All right. Have a good day, okay?
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Awesome interview. Well, I think you ticked off all the boxes from your premeditative. How do you want to be in this interview? You were educational, you were informative, and you were entertaining. So, Steph G,
thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
So
I
great.
appreciate it. Yeah,
and I love talking with you because I do feel like we're on the same, the same mindset level. And yeah, I'd love to talk to you more.
It's gonna happen. It's a certainty for sure. Same here. All right.
Thanks so much, Lane.
Thank you. Man, that was awesome.
That was good.
I loved it. I'm gonna edit it, and then actually I don't really have too much to edit, but if you want, I could just send you this entire audio clip, and if you wanted to make it an episode of your podcast, please feel free to do so. Because
what I was thinking. Like during it, I was like, "Shit, I want this."
Yeah. No,
to ask him for this.
I think that's exactly what you need to do, because I think that the more we can, I think your listeners will get a lot of really cool insights about you, listening to your, some of your personal testimony.
Yeah, I didn't talk a lot about that ever, so that was cool.
That's awesome. Well, this has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for being so awesome during the interview, but also for being so patient with getting us to this point. And let's please.
Thanks for asking amazing questions.
Oh, thank you. You're
a really good interviewer.
Thank you very much. I'm still learning, but I am passionate about human psychology. Like, this is just so intriguing to me. And then when I meet another coach who thinks very similar to how I do, and Tim, I'm sure you listen to Tim Ferriss, right? Or have read
in a while. No.
Okay. So what I love about Tim Ferriss is that he seeks out coaches who think like him, but who are experts in their fields. And he had a show, which I highly recommend. I think you can only download it by paying for it, like on iTunes or Amazon. It was called The Tim Ferriss Experiment. It was really cool, even though they had to cram everything into like an hour episode or 40-minute episode. All of the teachers or coaches that he gets for that show are deconstructionists. And that's what I would classify you as. because that's how I classify myself. We deconstruct what is seemingly difficult to understand, and we break it down into bite-sized morsels. And then after you understand each of those morsels, we help you to reconstruct it. And that, at the end of the day, is how you're going to outperform your anxiety, your fear, your doubt, whatever, by building confidence at each piece, each level, and then reconstructing you back into a fully realized, confident person.
Yeah. And that's how I love to think of it. And I actually tell my clients, we're actually going to rewire your brain. So we're going to break you down and then, rewire you, literally breaking up the synapses.
Yeah. Because you have to, if the brain
change.
Exactly. If the brain is designed to take those shortcuts and go back and forth and say, oh yeah, I remember what the color blue is because I learned this, and I remember what bounce and jump and all these things, then why isn't it also making shortcuts, like you said before, between the negative things in our lives, the bad habits? And that's actually something I just didn't really even make connect the dots with until our interview today. So
yeah, me either. I don't really think about that.
Yeah, so I would classify you as a deconstructionist, and I would highly recommend checking out that show. It's so entertaining. He does everything from learning parkour, which did not go so well for him, to learning how. Actually, he just recently learned how to swim himself, and brought his coach on to teach a woman who had a fear of swimming, to help teach her how to, in a week's time, in a couple of days, swim in open water, like in the ocean. So it was really, really cool. And that was my favorite episode because he broke down what a deconstructionist is. And he was saying of the coach, he was saying, I think his name was Terry or something, but he was Terry himself was never a high level competitor in the area of swim. So he wasn't conditioned to learn all of the same principles and things as, say a Michael Phelps. So not that Michael Phelps couldn't teach extraordinarily, I don't know, but he's saying, he brings a very novel approach because he had to learn a lot of the stuff himself. So he's learning, or he's teaching the same way he was learning, from a very novel perspective.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's really cool. So I would highly recommend. The show is called The Tim Ferriss Experiment.
Okay.
And then he has his podcast too, the Timothy Ferriss Show, which is awesome. But yeah, Steph, this has been amazing. I feel like I have a new friend, and really looking forward to speaking with you more. Let's talk. I definitely want to do a consultation with you, so let me know when we could possibly set that up.
Yeah, I'll email you the form right now.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then we'll take it from there. But I'm pretty sure. I think what I would like to do, going back to the notes, is do have you on for one more episode, or maybe a couple more, but where we talk about each of those fears that you outlined in more depth, like the fear of putting yourself out there, fear of commitment, sharing, showing emotion. Maybe each episode we could have different action steps that people could take towards outperforming, understanding themselves and their fear better.
Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome. Sweet.
Awesome.
Well, I'm going to package this up and I'll send you the full audio, including what we're talking about right now. And then, I'll let you know when I post it and it goes live.
Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, thanks so much, Lane.
Thank you, Steph. Have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Okay, you too.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. There you have it, you guys. A bit of an unorthodox episode, but I truly hope you enjoyed these afterthoughts, these post-interview conversations with my guests. To everyone that has been a guest on the show so far, I want to thank you once again for your invaluable insight, your contribution to making this show a success. And I call it a success simply because it was an idea just a year ago and that I've been able to execute on this year and plan to grow moving forward into 2019. So thank you very much for being a part of the journey thus far. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like it, but more importantly, comment on it and let me know that you liked it. Share it with those that you feel can find value from it. or that you think will find it entertaining and will enjoy it as well. You guys, it's my vision to reach the masses, and your contribution is to share and like and spread the word for the Fearless You and help me to attain that dream. So yes, please share the heck out of this episode if you feel so moved to do so. And if you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Send me a DM on Instagram at Coach Lane, and I will get back to you and we can discuss the viability of making that a reality. Remember, guys, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't understand something, ask questions and seek understanding, because if we seek to understand more, we can learn to fear less. Remember, you can find me almost anywhere online at Coach Lane on Instagram and Facebook. That's where I hang out the most. Thanks again for joining me today. Remember, whatever it is, go out there and get after it. I'm Coach Lane. I'll catch you on the flip.